Alright guys, today we're going to be working on our new chapter in Shurley. We're on page 267. This time we're doing mixed patterns, 1 through 4. So before we get started, let's just review what all of the patterns are. So this just gives us some examples of patterns. Pattern 1, you always have a subject, noun, and a verb. Those are the core parts, subject, noun, and a verb. So that's why it's called SNVP1 for subject, noun, verb, pattern 1. All the other stuff, prepositional phrases and adjectives and all that stuff, those are just extra in the sentence that don't really count with the pattern. Pattern 2 sentence has a subject, noun, and this time it has a VT, or what's called a verb transitive, and a direct object. So brother bought, you ask yourself, bought what? A computer. That's the direct object. Transitive is kind of sending the action, like transit or transportation. It's sending the action to our object, computer. You know, if you have an SNVTDO, then it's SNVTDOP2. A pattern 3 sentence is SNVTIODOP3. That means you have a subject, noun, a verb transitive, which is again transferring that action to an object. Gave what? A computer. Computer is your direct object. Now, with this type of sentence, that object is being given to something. That's your indirect object. To who or to whom? Me. That's our indirect object. So if you have your SN, your VT, your DO, your IO, it's a P3. A pattern 4 sentence is SNLVPRN P4. That means you have a subject, noun. And now we have a linking verb. A linking verb is not an action verb. This is a verb that is basically telling what something is. It's helping to describe that something. So present's our subject, noun. Is our linking verb. You ask yourself, is what? Oh, it's a computer. Our PRN is always going to be a noun because that stands for predicate noun. And that just means it's a noun and the predicate. So again, you ask yourself, you find your linking verb is, ask yourself what, computer, the PRN. That's a pattern 4. All right, so now we're on to the next page, and I'm going to have to move my little stand here that's holding my phone so you can actually see what I'm working on here. All right, so you can see those. I'm sorry it's a little bit crooked. This is kind of the best I can do, but I think you can still read what I'm doing. I'm going to go through these sample sentences on page 268. I would like for you to do them with me. And I've got to figure out what pattern they are. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find out what all the patterns are before I fill in everything, because I know there's going to be one of each pattern. And that's a clue on your homework. There will be one of each type of pattern, as long as there's 4, and I'm pretty sure there will be 4. All right, so let's see if we can figure it out. First things first, we always look for our subject, noun. Who or what is the sentence about? So the sentence, does your mom make biscuits, bacon, and eggs for breakfast? All right, who is the sentence about? That would be mom. Okay, so mom is our subject, noun. Now we have to find our verb. That would be the action of what the subject is doing, or if it's a linking verb, it could be the verb that's like saying is or are. Common linking verbs, a good list for you to memorize would be am, is, are, was, were, being, been. I'll say that again. Am, is, are, was, were, being, been. Those are some very common linking verbs that if you see those, you just know, okay, that's either going to be a linking verb or it could be a helping verb with the linking verb. My verb in this sentence is make, and that is an action. Now, I don't know if this is just a plain old verb or if it's a verb transitive yet. So I'm going to ask myself, make what? There is an answer, biscuits. That would be a direct object. But wait, there's more than one. There's also bacon and eggs. So these are compound direct objects, okay? Compound just meaning that there's more than one. And is a conjunction. And, or, for, or, not, so. Those are all conjunctions, and we label those with C. Those are just connecting words. Okay, I'm not going to go any further because I already know what type of sentence this is. Because there is no for whom. It's not, I could say, who did she make the biscuits for? It doesn't say, there's no I-O. So I know, now this is SNVTDOP2. Okay, I'll fill in the rest later. Okay, the next one, I'm looking for my subject noun. Someday my mother will give me grandma's china and crystal. All right, subject noun is my mother. She's the one that is doing the action in the sentence. So I'm looking for the verb. My main verb is give. And that is the action she's doing. But we have this word will with it. Will is a helping verb. That is just kind of, it's giving help to the word give. It's making it a future tense rather than a past tense gave, or just my mother did give, or whatever. This is making it future tense. This is the helping verb. Okay. So now I have my verb. I don't know if it's just a plain old verb or verb transitive yet. So I have to ask myself, will she give what? China and crystal. So those are both compound. Those are both things she's going to give. Direct objects have to be nouns. They have to be things. China and crystal are nouns. They're objects that she can physically give. And is my conjunction. Combining those. Now, I'm going to ask myself, to whom? Who would she be giving these to? And we do have an answer on this, me. Me is our IO, our indirect object, who she's giving those to. So now I know that this is an SNVTIODOP3 pattern. And I'll fill in the rest later. All right, so I've already found 2 of my patterns. Now for the next one. Wow, Jordan jumped into the lake from that high rock. Okay, I've got to find my subject noun. Who jumped? Well, Jordan did. Okay? And jumped, that is our verb. That is an action. I don't know if it's just a plain old verb or a verb transitive yet. So jumped what? Oh, that doesn't even make sense. To whom? That doesn't make sense either. This is our plain old SNVP1 sentence. Okay, I'll fill in the rest later. On our last one, I'm looking for a subject. Jerome and Diego are the class clowns. This sentence is about 2 people, Jerome and Diego. Those are CSNs, compound subject nouns with their and conjunction. All right, so I'm looking for my verb. Remember my handy dandy list. Am, is, are, was, were, being, been. Are is a linking verb. Okay? It's not really an action. You can't are something, but it's just kind of telling their state of being, what's going on with them. So they are what? They're clowns, okay? Clowns is our PRM. They're not a class. That doesn't make sense. All right, so that means that this time we have an SNLVPRNP4. All right, I have pattern 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now that I know that I've got all 4 of my patterns, I can go in and fill in the rest of these sentences. Okay, so our first sentence is a question. It's an interrogative sentence. I'll go ahead and write that now that I'm thinking about it. And I've told you, an interrogative sentence always starts with something. Do you remember what it is? They always start with helping verbs. Always. Always. Does is a helping verb. I could rearrange the sentence and say, your mom does make biscuits, bacon, and eggs. And does make. Does would be the helping verb before make. It's just inverted in this sentence and moved to the beginning. Okay, your is a PPA. Possessive pronoun adjective. That means it's showing possessive, like you, she's your mom. You own her. Pronoun, it's not a noun. Pronouns are like I, he, she, it, they, or like possessive pronouns. Yours, hers, theirs, things like that. All right, moving on. For is a preposition, and I always ask myself, for what? Oh, for breakfast, and that's our object of our preposition. The object of the preposition is always a noun. It's because it's always an object, something that, you know, you typically be able to touch. Sometimes nouns are like thinkings and feelings, but usually it's things that you can touch. Okay, so the final thing that we need to do is separate our subject and our predicate. Our complete subject is what the subject, it's all about the subject, okay? Our complete predicate is all about what the subject is doing. We always